This is Dr. John Tolson, and you're listening to the Disciple Making Podcast. Disciple making. Disciples who make disciples who make disciples. That is the Lord's plan to change the planet, your town, your city, your church. And you might wonder if I'm very passionate about this. I'm very passionate about this because I care what happens to our country, to our cities, to our towns. I care that people come to know Christ and grow up in their faith. So here's the question that I want to ask. How can you help us? Well, I got a couple ideas, so let me give them to you, how you can help us. Number one, if you want to be a vital part of changing your community, your city, and eventually our country and beyond, the first thing I would say to you is find you one or two people and begin to disciple them through the 4 priorities. You say, well, I'm not ready. Listen, many of you, maybe even most of you, know more than you need to know about the faith. And this will push you and challenge you to grow yourself as you build your life and the life of another person. And so if you can read and the other person you're discipling can read, then you read the material, you come together each week, you discuss it, and you build a friendship, and you get each other ready to not only live the truth of the Scripture, but also to disciple others. That's what this is all about. Number 2, ask your pastor to contact us at the Tolson Group so that we can discuss how we can work together and enable and encourage your church and people in your community to become involved in the disciple-making process. And so at the end of this, we will give you our information, our contact information. Number 3, pass along to your friends these messages that we've been doing on red glasses. And this whole series on disciple making started on January the 23rd, 2017, and it's going to run through August the 14th, 2017. So if they begin to watch these each day and get this under their belt, hopefully it would encourage them to get moving and get off the bench and start making disciples who make disciples. Maybe I've said this before, but I'll tell the story again. But a friend of mine came to a luncheon that we do here in Dallas some time ago, and there were about 300 businessmen and leaders in our city at this luncheon. And he got up front and he looked out at the group and he said, anybody here raised in an orphanage? Well, the crowd went silent. Finally, a man over on the right raised his hand and he said, do you mind if I ask you a question about being raised in that orphanage? He said, no, it's fine. He said, when you were in the orphanage and you knew some visitors were coming through, what were you thinking? Man said, that's easy. Please pick me. Most churches in America don't raise people that pick people to disciple people. We run programs, and programs don't necessarily pick people and help them become maturing, reproducing disciple makers. And so the Lord wants us to be investing in people who will invest in people who will invest in people. In other words, making disciples who make disciples. I can't think of a more significant thing that you can involve yourself in this life than to make disciples who make disciples who make disciples. You think about that. Thanks for listening to the Disciple Making Podcast. Check out our website at thetolsongroup.com and sign up for my weekly encouraging videos called Red Glasses Talks to come to your email every Monday morning. You can also find me at Dr. John Tolson on social media. I'd appreciate it if you'd leave me a review and share with a friend.